Hello and welcome to week 13 of the Summer Stitch Sampler Knit Along. This week our technique that we're working on is the applied border. And I've already gotten started here by casting on 6 stitches. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be working a border into stitches that we have already knit. This is just a little sample swatch. But you'll be able to pick up on the side and on the top and the bottom of the afghan and work these stitches as we go. By using short rows like we did last week with Interlac. It's going to be a little simpler than that though, and you're going to be doing basically the same thing around the entire project except the corners. So we'll get started. The first row is a knit 5 slip slip knit. And you've probably noticed I'm using watermelon when the instructions say to use off-white. That's because I picked up the wrong color, and once I made it to that point of no return, I just kept going. So I'm going to slip here, then I'm going to grab my project. I'm going to do this close to a corner. You want to make sure it's on a flat edge and not at the corner, because those are worked differently. Somewhere you'll be able to seam it together later without drawing much attention to it. And it is in garter stitch, so that shouldn't be too challenging. So let's say right here, pick up this guy. So slip, slip, knit. And right now this is going to be hanging by a thread when I turn it, so it may stretch a little bit, it may get a little wonky. You're probably supporting your whole project in your lap because it is quite larger compared to this little swatch. So I'm going to turn and then I'm just going to knit 6 stitches, and I'm trying to keep this a little tight because of that drag. Okay, so these 2 rows are the rows that I'm going to repeat for the whole project until I get to the corner. Okay, and the reason for that, oh, I'm starting to twist and turn. The reason for that is because the corner needs to be done sort of like a metered square, and we're going to do that with a different type of short row that includes wraps and turns, and I'll show you how to do those. You can also, if you are an advanced knitter, you could do a provisional cast on and then just graft that to the last row once you get all the way around. That's your choice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then just ignore it and carry on with what we're doing here. It is easy on these first stitches to get turned around, sort of like knitting with your tail, and to go the wrong direction. Because it's garter stitch, there really is no wrong direction, but you may find that, that you're not going in the direction you intended to go in. Since both sides look the same, it's fine. Okay, knit 5, and I'm going to slip, slip, and knit. And here I am at the corner of my work, and so the corners are worked a little bit differently, as I mentioned, but they're worked in symmetry. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 rows up and 10 rows down, and I'll show you what I mean by that. The first thing we're going to do, we're on the wrong side of our work at this point, or the side that's going away from the finished edge, is we're going to do, oops, we're going to finish our knits. We're going to knit 6 on this side, sorry. Then we're going to turn and start our corner countdown. There we go. Okay, so now we're on the right side, or the side that is headed toward our work. If you are on the quote-unquote wrong side of the work, it will still work. It will just, you're heading in the opposite direction. Okay, so I'm going to knit 5, and then I'm going to wrap and turn. To wrap and turn, what you're going to do is you're going to bring the yarn forward, slip this stitch over, put the yarn back, and then slip the stitch back. Okay, that's it. Essentially, If you look down at it this way, you can see you are just wrapping that stitch with yarn. That is the end of the wrap and turn. But when I work it, I also bring it back to the front, the yarn, because I know as soon as I turn, I'm going to need to knit, and that yarn needs to be back here anyway. And that just helps keep the tension even, doing it all as one process rather than turning it and then moving it to the back. So I'm going to knit back up to the end of this. I did 5 last time, so I'm going to do, whoops, so I'm going to do 4 this time. I don't know if you guys can hear the leaves rustling. We've got some bug sounds too. I'm outside knitting because it's a beautiful end of summer day. It's not technically fall here yet, but it feels like it, and I think we're only about 6 days away. Maybe 9 days away. Can't remember when the official start is. All right, we did 4 that time, so we're going to do 3 this time. Remember, we're going to bring our yarn to the front, slip, yarn back, slip it back, and then I bring it front again and turn and knit 3. Okay, we did 3 that time, so we're going to do 2 this time. Two, wrap and turn, bring it back, knit 2. All right, since we just did 2, it's time to do 1, knit 1, wrap, and turn, knit 1. Okay, so we're going to turn and start again. This time we're going in the opposite order. So instead of starting with knit 5, slip, slip, knit, we're going to start with the knit 2, slip, slip, knit. I'm sorry, knit 2, wrap and turn, not slip, slip, knit. Oh goodness, I hope that didn't mess anybody up. So 2, because we just did the 1, and we're going to do the wrap and turn. And 2. Next we're going to do 3 because we're increasing now. So 1, 2, 3, wrap and turn. Next we're going to do 4, wrap and turn. You can see where this is going, right? Now we're at the last wrap and turn, which is knit 5, wrap and turn. So we're wrapping and turning our last, I was going to say pink, but what I mean is border color stitch, our last border color stitch, and then back to the front. Then we'll turn and knit 5. Now we're back where we started on those 2 rows that we've been working. So we're gonna, oops, let me get this little tangle out. So I'm going to knit 5, slip, slip, knit, just like I work on the regular edge, because we're back to regular edge stitches. 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to slip and pick up the first stitch of the next side, slip, knit those two together, and that's what our corner comes out like. So you can see the wrap and turn leaves almost like a little yarn over a hole, and when it's finished, that's what it looks like. I'm trying to get one that's not being pulled, but there we go. So when it's all set, that's what it looks like. And so you actually have a good corner instead of just a pull on it from the sides. So when you get to the end, you're going to bind off your stitches, and then you're going to seam your end and your beginning together with the tail. Okay? And then you're going to weave in that end, and you are going to be finished with this project. If you enjoyed it, I'm so excited. I have had a great time. I'm getting to know everybody. I think I've met more knitters with this project than I have in my entire life otherwise, and during a time that I really needed it. So thanks for that. But if you enjoyed this and you want to know about future knit-alongs, you can subscribe to our newsletter, and I've also put links to all our social media in the comments. Otherwise, please reach out if you have questions about this or any other project in the comments, or email me directly or come to our Facebook group. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful fall.